Today, we're going to talk about audible road combinations. Um, Something that we came up with back in 16, 17, and that we used, and we still use to this day. And basically, all it comes down to is that if you can see this is the actual page of our 2019 playbook, and you can see there where it says our bark calls, and our bark literally stands for me was backside adjusted road combinations. But really, it's not just backside; it's both sides. And we just stuck with bark because that was the addition down that myself and Jack came up with many moons ago. Um, but we stuck with that. But it literally is an audible road combination at the moment of scrimmage. Uh, we basically determine what this combination is going to be in the scout film practice, pre game practice. So you can see on our playbook there, just say our barcodes are in game audibles to explore the weakness in coverages. This will be worked into our scout game plans, opponent specific each week. Okay, and what we would do is that if whatever concept that I felt, that usually this left or right side concept was not a combination that we would normally run. It would be something that we would not be on film doing, so that if they can't go, oh, they're running stick right here, they're running wide corner. It would be a couple of road combinations that are either seen and are liked, or uh, I figured it was the way to exploit uh, a defense, and also the other QBs would come up to me and say, "Can we try this? Do this?" I mean, we would take the stuff on board, and we try and implement it and do it. And as you can see, I'll give you some examples from my time at the Rev, and basically, um, what would happen is we would have two calls in the Revolutions. Guys, it was Blade and Sonic, and when it was Steelers, it was Forge and Steeler. Uh, and all the QB would do is turn and face the receivers. With mainly a 2x2 thing, QB would turn and face the receivers that he wants to change the route combination on, based on what he's seeing on the defense. So the defense is giving him a look that he thinks, well, if we run this uh, this bar call, I know we can exploit the space. So he would just literally turn and face me. We did have him tapping down his chest at first, but in the end, we just felt it was easier to call it a name. And then we call it Blade or Sonic or Steeler or Forge, whatever they were. And we would always package two concepts or half concepts each week, and that concept may not change for you know a variance of a few games. It would only change if I log the little road combos that I've got. I'll probably keep them in there for a number period of time, and we wouldn't change them unless I thought, well, actually, you know what, we can exploit that this week if I change Blade to this, and it would be in our game plan, and it would be in our practice plan. And what we would do on the two practices before, and we know we've got a game. We spend 5 minutes about having individual time with our QBs and our wide receivers, and we would just go over bar calls. So our QB would shout out bark, and we would run the concept that we were going to run when we shout out Blade or Sonic or in this instance Steeler and Forge, and that's what we did. And you can see there's an example of the thing there. It's just a simple 5 and in and out. Okay, but you can see that on our examples here, we've got X slant and H bubble. It could also be Z slant and Y bubble. It depends on which side we're going to call, but that was just the way that it was. I'll just give you two examples on the left hand side. Again, it could be an X5 and a H a wheel, and these would change. That's not exclusive. We could have a slant and a wheel. We could do whatever we wanted. Whatever we wanted to tag on that backside, we would do it, and it would be on. It's not something that I would be open to having uh, young quarterbacks doing, or QBs not knowing and reading the field well doing. This is why we didn't actually run this at all. You know, in the playbook, we didn't run it at all in 2019 Revolution. Our QBs weren't ready for it. They couldn't read defense, and they quick enough to identify what we're trying to do. When we had experienced quarterbacks at the Steelers in 17, this was a money thing for us at times. I've got some clips of it, but we will go to we'll go to huddle. we'll just share the screen. So literally, the two examples that there was slant, and then we'd have our house running a wheel. Okay, and that could be both. That could be either side. If the QB turned and faced the left hand side, it would be the left hand receiver that ran this concept, and it would supersede whatever we were running. If we were running full burst, if we were running stick, if the QB turned and faced you, that's what we're running on this down. Okay, so you have to put the work in and understand what the bar call, well, what the audible call is, and then put it into practice. Rep it, rep it, rep it. Make sure you rep it. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. One of the calls, another one of the calls. I was going to the side from there. Was we would run like a post and a bubble too. We've done that as well. You know, there's things that we run there that we wouldn't normally run concept wise in our offense. But if it's a wrinkle that we liked, and if it's a wrinkle we wanted to use or attempt to use, we would try and do it. And this for us was very simple teaching. When we talk about our 5 minute installs, the moment going on, it's very similar. It's very simple teaching. As long as your QB can identify what he's trying to attack and what he wants to change that concept and what he wants to change the play. Okay, you don't just change it because of the reason the QB has to ID why he wants to attack that play, that field. Okay, and once he does that, we're all good to go. I have two clips from 2017. Um, this is versus Leicester. We are in the red zone in both of these clips, and this is where we would usually run the bar for us the bar calls, not exclusively, but we like to mess with it down here. In this case, all we're going to do, our QB would have already turned and faced the left hand side, and we've just switched up whatever we were going to be running down here, and we're going to literally change it up, and we're going to run the slant and a wheel. You can see it's open, but for some reason our QB doesn't throw it. Not sure why. Not sure what he's reading. But you can see they've both gone with the slant, and the wheel's wide open. He throws it late, and the defense makes a play on it. You can see this is pre-snap. We would have identified this. This would have been one of our pop. This may have been Steeler, and Steeler may have been on the board and repped for weeks and weeks and weeks without us changing it. It wasn't exclusively every week we would change a play, or every week we would change a concept. If we logged 2 or 3 core concepts, we roll with them for quite a while. And if we logged a concept at Steeler, we'd keep it at Steeler. If we logged a concept at Forge, we'd keep it at Forge, and we'd roll with it until we thought we could attack this with this, and then we change it. But we have to spend time during indie period working on it, because if you don't, the players won't remember what the calls are, and they get confused, and then you end up making mistakes in the red zone, and that costs you points, etc., etc. You can see it actually worked well for us. We got the inside slant. Both the guys dive in on the slant because our X was a demon, and basically he was always double covered. Our guy's wide open. QB's late setting his feet. You can see it's just an unfortunate late throw, and the DB makes a heck of a play. You can't knock the DB on that. It should have been a TD. It wasn't, but it's a great example of our bar call working. Okay, it's basically all it is. It's an audible rope combination. That's all we're doing. We're taking a rope combination that we might not run. It could be a combination that you do, and you could add like stick to the left hand side. You could add height corner rather than wide corner. You can do all kinds of stuff. Your bot rows can be whatever you want to be, whoever you want to exploit. You know, it is what it is. It's your offense. These are just examples of what we do. Again, take it back a little bit. Again, we're in the red zone. This is back in the game. QB's turned to the right, and whatever we were running, let's see if I can tell from that. I can't tell. Okay. And all we're going to do now is watch it through one time. We run the bubble and a slant. We're taking him for a tee. You can see our QB is very pleased with himself because he's called the bar call, and it's worth a treat. Okay, because obviously the QB takes ownership of this. So if it works on the QB, if it fails again, we have to work with the QB to make sure that we get it right. So you see they're down. The man bites on the bubble, and I go to run through on the slant. A nice little touchdown. And this is the road combination that we wouldn't necessarily run at all. This is something that we've put in to exploit the situation, game day specific adjustments. That's basically what it comes down to. And this isn't something that we would run, to be honest, year one. When I was at Stanwell, it was year 4, year 5. We had a lot of continuity, a lot of veteran presence, so we could do things like this that we probably couldn't do at year. Like I couldn't do it year one of the revolution. We just didn't have it. We didn't have it in the bag. So you can see that the more you're together, the more you can do, and the vets can make your ideas come to life and make you look a lot better than you might actually be, and or etc. etc. But yeah, these are audible road combinations. It's something that we used in 17 and 19, but mainly 17. We repped them in 19 on the practice field. We never did it on a game day. We was never comfortable enough to give the QBs the green light where they could do what they wanted to. We'll watch it one last time. You can see it's just a nice little simple bubble and a slant. And we take it in for the score. Again, it's not a combination that's in that. It's not a combination, or it's not a concept that's in our playbook. So there's no way that they can scout for it because we don't run it. But we do run it in practice, and therefore we feel comfortable in running it on a game day. And taking those, just like when we run the things from the other day that I was showing you, like the little niche things that can get like the fast screen, the flash. If you rep it and you don't get on film very often, you can still exploit those little things by doing, making sure you get the work done in practice and then take it over at the game day. So again, guys, hopefully something that you've enjoyed, and I always like to, pass on what I've been taught and what I've been told, and things that I found useful over time. Hopefully this is one of them. So for now, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon.